In the next 10 years, if we have to achieve the growth which we have achieved before, then we have to worry about the available water source and the resources in the country.
Recently, Bangalore faced a massive water scarcity. This is going to be a reality for 100 plus Indian cities by 2050.
Coimbatore, I see that's again the same stage as Bangalore, Coimbatore, Pune, Delhi, all these next 10 years, right? So whatever happened in Bangalore will happen in these cities. We're not asking money from the apartment complex. And if they are ready to support us long term, 5 years, we will get external investors to put the equipment for them. So there is no net negative for the apartment. But the real problem, what I see is, when we go pitch this, right, people get greedy. You give me more money for my wastewater, which I'm illegally currently draining out.
Our guest today, Vikas Bramhavar, could be one of the saviors of India's water crisis. Hello and welcome to What India Needs podcast with me, Shutapa Paul. On this podcast, we will discuss issues that are affecting our nation and perhaps standing in the way of us becoming a superpower. Our guests will come from various walks of life, and together we will discuss solutions that could be implemented at the government level, at the policymaker level, at the corporate level, and most importantly, what you and I, as citizens of the nation, could do at our end. Recently, Bangalore faced a massive water scarcity. This is going to be a reality for 100 plus Indian cities by 2050. Our guest today, Vikas Bramhavar, co-founder of BOSON White Water, could be one of the saviors of India's water crisis. Thank you for joining us, Vikas.
Pleasure being here. Thank you very much for calling me here.
So my first question to you is, we definitely have a huge water crisis facing the country. How worried should we be?
So our country has been a resourceful country. So we've always had water. We've always had every resource we want. However, only when it comes to the neck, we always think about the problem. Until then, we don't really think. So we should, starting now, 2024, 25, in the next 10 years, if we have to achieve the growth which we have achieved before, then we have to worry about the available water source and the resources in the country.
Why do we find ourselves in this situation? I mean, would you call it greed, corruption, lack of planning, lack of foresight?
So I would say lack of foresight in a starting phase. So for the reason that we have grown so fast that we did not plan for this kind of growth, right? So in terms of water infrastructure, if you see, how does the developed countries plan their water infrastructure? They plan the water infrastructure based on the water going out of the city, right? In all the cities of India, what we plan is we plan based on the water coming into our dams. Say the government official there decides the level of the water in the dam is so much, and I'll start distributing the water. So that is the starting point for us as a country. If you see other countries, developed countries, they look at the population and they know the volume of water going out of the city, and they start their planning from the water going out of the city, which is more predictable than the water coming into the city as rain. So we move from non-predictable way of managing water to a predictable way of managing water. So that's a big difference. We are slowly moving there, but we should, in the next few years, we should be able to move fast. So if a government has to decide, the wastewater going out of the city can be clearly planned for industrial water supply. Fresh water coming in as rain can be planned for fresh water distribution. So if this mindset is changed, then we'll be able to grow faster.
So when you mention developed nations, any country specifically that comes to mind which has done this successfully?
Yeah, Singapore, California, Texas, they all have centralized infrastructure, right? So all of them, the water infrastructure is managed by the government. Okay. Why they have done centralized is the government decides where to distribute water because it's all planned. Our country is beyond the centralized infrastructure. We are too big, too fast. So we have to focus on the decentralized infrastructure. So other countries have done, but what we have to do now, we can't take them as benchmark because that's done by the government. Now this has to be done by the citizens of the country, and government can create policies and support to enable this to be done by the citizens of the country.
So clearly wastewater treatment is a great solution. What is the challenge which lies in our path?
So wastewater has never been looked at as a resource so far, right? Government has made laws to implement something called sewage treatment plant. So every building wherever we stay, all the sewage which is going out of the building, government says you're supposed to treat it and use a certain portion of it back into your cycle. That recently has started 2014-15 onwards. The policies have started coming into place and enforcement has started. This is the first stage, valuing the wastewater going out of the building. This is the first stage. Now, why did government come up with such a proposition? Was people don't treat it and they send it to the drain, it becomes a huge sanitation issue for the country. You have sewage running everywhere. Imagine we go to UK, we go anywhere, we take a photo in front of a beautiful river with greenery, all that, we see that, right? Can we take those photos in Bellandur Lake? We can't. So now if the city has to focus on sanitation, then the first way to address is where is this wastewater going. And if you have to address that, you'll have to look at the usefulness of the wastewater going out of any building. So these countries are addressing that in a centralized level. We have to address that in a decentralized level.
What I find shocking is that this, whatever you're saying, it seems like something which should have been done maybe a couple of decades ago, at least planning for it.
Yeah, so I also feel so when a city needs to be planned, considering Bangalore used to have say 1,000 lakes, now we have 198 lakes or something. So when the city needs to be planned, first thought would come to anyone is we should not spoil our existing lakes. So the infrastructure should have started that way. But the idea of developing Bangalore itself was a hill station, right? I mean, it was not meant for such a large growth. It was not meant for such a large industrial expansion. It was not meant for all these. But fortunately, unfortunately, we've gone down that path and we have become a very strong city, as all the cities of India very stronger. That seems to be the only way to do it now, at least, instead of what was not done earlier. It makes sense to start now, and it's not too late, is what I feel. So few of them have given up, meaning let's move to a next city sort of thing. So, but I don't think so, meaning it's still possible if government, citizens, and the existing infrastructure they're able to sit together and decide we're going to do it for the city, then it's possible.
I mean, I always keep thinking, I always keep asking myself that foresight is such an interesting word because it is could possibly be the solution to many future issues as well. So today, if we don't take the right steps, 5 years later, we could be in a worse off condition. So a lot of people, who are leaving a city, as you said, and going to another city, probably going to destroy that other city also if there is no foresight and planning. So I completely agree with you that we need to find solutions and change a situation rather than, run away. So, wastewater treatment is a solution. Can you tell us in layperson's words, what exactly is the process? Can you simplify it for us? What does it actually entail?
Right. So every liter of water we buy for our home, say we have shower, we have all the applications which we use. So we buy water, right? Out of that, 1, 2, 3 liters probably we drink, 1 liter probably for cooking per capita. If we see, that is all we use. Where does all the other water go? All the other water is counted as wastewater because it's a used water. Once it counts as wastewater. What, as a layman, what we normally see is what we consume, what we physically going as waste from our RO system, from our restrooms, what we physically, that's all we see. Now, when we see when we say in an apartment, so the water going out of the building, right? We're not really worried about what is going out of the building. So effectively, if a person is using 135 liters per person per day, effectively our usage in that will be say 10 liters for cooking, drinking, all that. Rest all is the wasted water. So out of 135, probably 110, 120 liters is wasted water, which is not accounted. We don't think in the way that I have used only 10 liters today, but effectively 135 liters has come to me. Where did the remaining 125 liters go? So we don't think in that way. So the wastewater is that contribution which goes back to the building. Now, in this 125 liters, we assume 12 liters probably goes for garden, right? We still have 100 liters or 110 liters excess. Now that water is not accounted for anywhere in the cycle. It goes to the STP, those who have STP, and then sent out to the drain, right? Some of them take a portion of water, which is 45 liters of that, use it for flushing, right? Now, rest all is going to the drain. Okay. For this, government they did STP, sewage treatment plant is mandatory. So any apartment complex, now in Bangalore it is above 130 units, 120 units, 80 kiloliters and above. Any apartment units should have sewage treatment plant. So whatever this 135 liters per person gets used goes to the sewage treatment plant, right? This treatment plant, there are various technologies in it, anaerobic, aerobic, various technologies in it. It's supposed to produce water which is good for gardening and flushing. There is a standard. Okay. Now, gardening, until otherwise we have a sugarcane plantation or something large plantation, you don't use enormous water in the garden. The statistics says per acre of garden requires 5,000 liters. That's all you require. So if you have a large area, then you can use the STP treated water. Flushing requirement is say 45 liters per person. So you still have around 80, 100 liters excess of this water. Now that is the input to us. What we do, we take that treated STP water, which is good for garden and flushing, pass it through multiple stages. Each stage removes different contaminants. These stages are 11 stages of treatment. First 4 stages are for microbial, then color, smell, heavy metals, all the contaminations possible in the water. We pass it through each of these stages and take it to drinkable quality water, which meets IS 10500 standards of drinking technically. So these are the stages. Now these stages, each one is in series. It's not in parallel. Each one is able to shut down if the water quality is bad. If the input water quality itself is bad, the first stage itself shuts down. First stage there is a problem, second stage shuts down. Like that, we have a series of 11 stages in series. At any point of time, if the water quality is bad, it stops. And at no point of time we'll get bad water coming out.
So that ensures your safety.
Exactly,
factor.
safety factor. And it is designed that way. It is designed as per a norm called DPR. In India next year, I think it might come, direct portable reuse. So the system is designed as per that. This ensures that the water quality is high quality water coming out.
How long does this process basically take? I mean, in terms of minutes, hours?
It's an inline system. You pump in here, next 5 minutes it's out.
Wow. So almost like a water purification normal system like that. What is the cost involved, if we could give it a sense? And I know that, you are BOSON White Water is your company, and y'all are already working with various malls and buildings. Is it possible for a common citizen to also have this system at home or something like that?
So the current system which we have is suitable for apartment complexes which are about 250 units. Because the volume of water is significant, for us the impact is also significant there. For an independent house, 2 people, 3 people staying, the volume is not really large for commercial viability to set up such a large system. Okay, coming to the cost, so the smallest system which we have is 50,000 liters of water production per day. So generally suits for 250 units and above apartments. Whoever have STP, running STP, they will have access. Our system can go there, right? It starts from 20 lakhs. The equipment costs 20 lakhs per equipment, and the bigger size 37 lakhs if it is 100,000 liters. So in terms of cost, it is enormously high for apartments also to set it up, right? People think, why should I do that? My wastewater is being treated. I will send it in the drain during the night. It's illegal, but no one is going to see. Why should I spend 20 lakhs on it, right? In an apartment, if you see, there are 2-3 people who are very driven, environment friendly, all that. But when it goes to a common ground, there are 200 people sitting. They have to justify commercially. They have to justify legally. They have to justify what is viable for them. All that comes into picture. So for that reason, we're not asking money from the apartment complex. If they have good STP treated water and if they are ready to support us long term, 5 years, we will get external investors to put the equipment for them, right? This 20 lakh gets invested by an external investor. Apartment doesn't pay anything. Apartment gives us inlet of the STP treated water to us and let the tanker come and take this water out, right? Now then the investment problem for the apartment is solved. We also give a revenue sharing back to the apartment at 60 rupees for every 12,000 liters tanker we sell out. We keep paying them 60 rupees back to them. For them, they have to give us space. They have to give us power. For the power, we pay 8 rupees per unit. That also we pay. So there is no net negative for the apartment. But the real problem, what I see is, when we go pitch this, right, people get greedy. I'm in for money, meaning my association will not agree. You give me more money for my wastewater, which I'm illegally currently draining out. You give me more money. So this attitude is what is a problem in the apartment. In spite of we give equity for the investors who put the equipment, right? It's our risk. We don't know whether someone will buy immediately. We have to manage the tanker network. We have to manage the technology. So it is not that we are not doing 100% charity, but this risk itself is the biggest charity we feel, because no one in India is doing it. So this is one thing which I feel really surprised when people apartment says, how much money will you give me? Meaning, boss, you are doing illegal disposal of wastewater, which you say, I know politicians, I'll still manage, and things people say. You are illegal. You have excess water. It's going to the drain every day. You know that hundreds of thousands of liters you're sending it to the drain. You're environmentally not responsible. But in the social media, you come out and say that you're responsible. I don't want to waste RO water and things like that. But down below the ground, they themselves waste water. Now, what more can we do for an apartment, right? So now we have started choosing apartments who are with us on this mission and understand the risk which we are taking, understand the risk which they are into it. Together, if we are able to solve, then we are in. If someone asks, will I make more commercial, all that, then we slowly say, you yourself invest, you take the risk, you do all the things. Or if you want to be illegal, then you be illegal, meaning what else can we say, right?
So the STP water, which is there, which many apartments have all over India, that water eventually goes out, right?
Yeah. So STP treated water is used for gardening, right? That is a small portion. If it is 1 lakh liters, they'll use say 5,000, 10,000 liters for gardening. 20,000 liters, they'll use it for flushing. That is also mandatory. For flushing, 20,000 liters they use. So effectively, for a 1 lakh liters, 70,000 liters is excess, right? That is sent out to the drain.
Right. After usage, it is anyway going down to the drain, right?
After usage, this excess treated water is going to the drain. Legally, there are two norms. One, if you give it to underground drain, then you're not allowed to give it to the underground drain. You can leave it to there are two drains: storm water drain, underground drain. Raw sewage is supposed to go to the underground drain. Treated water to fill the lakes is supposed to go to the storm water drain, which collects river water and all that, and has to go to the lakes to fill. Now, if these two networks in most apartments are not clear, okay, they end up sending everything to one. People are not sure which drain they are giving. Effectively, this gets mixed with untreated sewage and contributes to the sewage of the city.
Right.
For that reason, what NGT says, your apartment has to eventually become zero discharge. You can't discharge any water to the drain outside. Now that policy, when it came, huge fine, but government doesn't themselves don't have a solution on what to do with this excess water. They themselves don't have. So they said, we'll map apartments to a park. Okay, this excess water, instead of randomly sending it to the drain, you send it to the nearest BDA park. Okay, now comes the problem: who is going to pay for the transport to send it to the park? Okay, now this transport is more costlier than water. So if an apartment has to pay money to send it to the nearest BDA park, it will cost them more than the fresh water purchase. It doesn't make sense for them. So they would say, I will rather put it illegally to the drain. No one is going to come and check and things.
And no one checks.
No one checks. You can't enforce 98% being defaulted, right? So it goes to the drain. Now for that reason, even as a city, say the BDA park requirement will be say 90-100 MLD, but we have 1450 MLD, so you can't give all the water to the parks. The only solution for this would be to make this building's wastewater useful for the next building, right? How do you make one building's wastewater useful to the next building? The next building will buy your water only if it is higher quality than Kaveri or borewell water. Until you take it to the highest quality, people wouldn't buy,
Right.
This is what we are trying to bring to the table, saying that recycling has to increase the quality of living for people. Right? People will take recovered water, recovered paper, recovered any material if it is of higher quality than what is available in the market.
What would be the price? I mean, are you already doing this, implementing this?
Yeah, we are selling 830,000 liters of water every day, which is highest quality water available in the market. It is like bottled water.
In Bangalore?
In Bangalore, 830,000 liters every day it's going.
Wow. What is the price like?
So it is almost same as the existing tanker water which they would buy. Our price is between 2000 rupees per tanker to 2500 rupees per tanker, but the cost of water is less. The transportation is the bigger cost. Our water cost is 8 paisa per liter. Any water they produce, we will be able to sell water at 8 paisa per liter if they manage the transportation. So, and it will be bottled water quality water. So it will have a total dissolved salt 40 ppm, 50 ppm, that kind of water quality. Now the buyer also, he, instead of buying a salty high contaminated water from tanker, if it is almost the same price and he is able to use this water efficiently and reduce his cost of operation, then it makes sense for him to buy. If you say I will give little smelly water, little colored water, he will say I will take borewell water, right? Because it's cheaper. Why should I compromise on anything?
Right.
So we have always been saying recycling has to add value to people, then sustainability becomes easy.
Right.
Now we are selling 8,30,000 liters every day. We have demand for 14 lakh liters of water per day. We already have customers who want more water. We don't have water to give. So this is a different problem this year. Last year it was ulta. We were selling some 5 lakh liters. We were asking for people to buy and things like that. Once people use our water, once they get used, they see the value, they can't switch. I'll give an example. A laundry unit which is buying our water, right? They were buying water earlier which had salts of 1200 ppm is the total dissolved salts. We are giving at 40 ppm. In the laundry machines, when they use soap, right? You wash where in the laundry when you use
Right.
soap. With the hard water, you'll use 400 grams of soap per large machine. With our water, they're using 125 grams of soap. So for them, there is direct cost benefit
Wow.
using this water. Not just that, when the wastewater after laundry goes to something called effluent treatment plant, they have a treatment plant for that. The chemical cost in that comes down because the salt itself is not there. It's
Wow.
only the soap treatment.
Wow.
So it solves everyone's problem in the site.
Which other sector would you say would benefit? Like this is indirectly benefited, directly and indirectly benefit.
So cooling towers, Bangalore and all the cities are filled with IT parks and malls, right? So they need cooling towers. The whole building needs to stay cool. For that, they want water, cooling tower. The better the quality of water, longer the life of cooling tower, lesser the chemicals usage in the cooling tower. That's direct benefit. Out of 8,30,000 liters, 5.2 lakh liters goes for cooling tower application, our current water. Second is the laundry industry. Laundry industry will benefit for their washing, unit economics, environment, everything laundry units. We are selling it to semiconductor industry where they produce demineralized water after our water. If they buy tanker or hard water, the cost of production of demineralized water is very higher. If they use our water, it significantly reduces the production of demineralized water. We are selling it to silk industry. We are selling to plastic extrusion, boiler industry, all these industries. Enormous application.
Wow. So that's across the spectrum. You know, the only thing I can't get this one line out about, how these apartment complexes are asking how much money they make, because just average middle class to upper middle class apartment costs now in the metros is anywhere between 60 70 lakhs starting to 2.5 3 crores or so, even more. And when the water scarcity issue happened in Bangalore recently, homeowners who had 4 5 crore homes were in a mall lining up to use the washroom. So that cost compared to 20 lakhs is, in my mind, very nominal. And then you've also made it so attractive. They don't have to do anything. They simply have to give the water and take the benefit. So that seems like an extreme, it's a very, it's a mindset issue, right?
It's a mindset issue. See, what recently happened is government said, BWSSB said, we will pay rupees 8 per kiloliter, I think. 8 rupees per kiloliter we will pay if a builder near your apartment can technically buy this water, right? Government said they will pay 8 rupees per liter. But the issue is there is no builder ready to buy this water in a large volume because he needs quality, right? Now apartments are thinking that we will make a killing by selling our wastewater. So this mindset has come now recently. What we normally see is apartments in the range of 250, 300, 500, which is not ultra high luxury, and they have a problem. They understand the problem in disposing this water, are more forward, and they're not looking at looking at revenue, they want to really
Profits and all that, yeah.
the apartments which are really high end, 5 crore, 4 crore, we see that, so they don't know the industry, right? They don't know what is the value for the wastewater. They say we will exploit the wastewater market, we will make so much money and things like that. So I see that difference. Large apartments, we have that issue.
We would think it would be
Ulta,
it
but
would
it
be
is not
reverse.
that. That is what we see. The few people say my aesthetic will go bad if I put an equipment and things like my square feet has so much value. So what we can't say, but what we end up saying is, boss, you are sending 2 lakh liters to the drain. You are saying on in all the social media saying you're not wasting water, environment friendly, but no one knows that you're sending 2 lakh liters to the drain. And you're worried about space, you're worried about, and during scarcity you're saying I'll move to a different city. Till then people fight. So this mindset has to change. I think it will slowly change.
How many apartments do you have on board, and is it just in Bangalore? Are you in other cities
Currently,
also?
it's just in Bangalore. We have 17 projects running totally, out of which 4 are apartment complexes. We have 11 more apartment complexes we have come out, and so we are deciding to put around 40 apartments this year before December. If we get 40 apartments, we have 52 agreements in line. Association takes longer time to decide, meaning space is okay, someone agrees, someone doesn't agree. So we'll set up 40 apartments as the target in Bangalore. We are starting a first project in Coimbatore. Coimbatore, I see that's again the same stage as Bangalore, Coimbatore, Pune, Delhi, all these next 10 years, right? So whatever happened in Bangalore will happen in these cities, because it's we can see that now, because I we saw it 10 years ago here in Bangalore also. We have been fortunate to get good rains, and we're always dependent on that 4 5 days of good rain in end April, May, right? This May, if we didn't have rain, we're all done, meaning. So all cities. So for us, next is Coimbatore. Pune, we are working with large companies who can help us scale that. Hyderabad and Delhi. So Jaipur, Agra is all on the critical belt, but I don't know whether people actually realize that they are in the critical belt.
Right. Absolutely. I think a lot of people are not, the whole reason that we're even doing this podcast and we've called it What India Needs is because we want to, at some point, also shake people up and make them pay attention to very crucial issues, right? Like we get so busy with everything else, like people who are thinking of profits and revenues, fair enough. But the larger issue, more serious issue, which impacts us and our immediate next generation is the fact that there's acute water shortage. It's happening now and it'll get worse because extreme climate episodes are also increasing now in India, right? So, that brings me to my next question. How ready are we in terms of policy, regulation, infrastructure to implement large scale treatment plants as yourself, and also, in terms of regulation? Because a lot of things in our country get stuck at the regulatory level.
So as a country, or as even as individuals, will never be ready, right? We'll never be 100% ready for anything, because we are a democratic country, meaning there are too many approvals. We'll never be ready for anything drastic. We'll always have to keep trying keep trying what works for us, right? That is what decentralized works for our organization, and decentralized is the only way for the cities. Everyone knows. Instead of waiting for large scale change, saying that government will do whole India revamp, meaning large scale change will not happen next day. It won't happen. Small changes on a unit level can happen faster. For that we are 100% ready. So government is also ready. Policy is also there now. Bangalore's policy is the only policy in throughout the world for selling treated water from a decentralized network, and it came out because of scarcity. Now this can be benchmark for all the cities in our country. So we are ready for that. Meaning in terms of solving the problem. In terms of mindset, again, we'll never be ready, right? I'll give an example. So in California, they announced this toilet to tap, right? As soon as you use the words like toilet to tap, there is like people won't take it, right? So the different namings, we also, when we kept white water as a name, right? Different namings. We call it recovered water, people don't use. You call it recycled water, people don't use. You call it anything related to upcycled water, you people don't use it. So this naming becomes an important parameter when government does some naming, does some. It has to be named, taking all these perceptions into account, right? Going back to your question, are we ready? We are ready in a decentralized network. Centralized network will never be ready because we have so much growth happening that there is always no 100%, nothing is available on site. We just have to get on ground and do it. Until that, we'll always be not ready. We should not be ready because we'll keep growing, right? So we can't anticipate the growth. And what if we grow more than what we anticipated? It's better for the country. So in terms of growth.
So I think in that case, local communities, individuals, citizens, as you said, who are civic conscious and within their group can at least start this conversation within their RWAs or their large offices, and they can actually talk to people and build that awareness that let's try something like this and which would help. That makes sense. I do understand, but I definitely agree that while there is a lot of growth which and we need it and we should have it, on the policy front, I think both central and state government, I think more serious relook is required than what they're doing. I see them working in an ad hoc way. Like this year there was a crisis, so therefore in Bangalore we saw some activity. Now that the rains have come, maybe everybody will again go back to being normal and wait for the next extreme episode. So somewhere I think a more serious look, not only in say Bangalore, Pune, or Jaipur, as you said, no one's talking about it. So we clearly need that. Um, Coming back to the yuck factor, as you said, now you said if you have the word toilet, nobody's touching it, right? Nobody's having that water. Especially in India, we have so many social taboos, right? We are religiously, socially much more firm in our beliefs, right? We have a lot of we will not do this, we will not touch with our left hand and all of that. And here we are talking about wastewater which is being drunk. So how are you dealing with that perception?
So we have had, I'll give an example on how extreme perceptions are. One of the apartment wanted to buy our water, right? They came to our system, took samples over 6 months, 7 months. They took water samples. They drank it there at the system. They said, okay, you start supplying, right? So we were supposed to supply the water at 10 o'clock in the morning via tanker. Okay. We had some tanker issues that day because of tankers being taken over, things like that. There was no tanker available. But in their group, in the apartment group, they had put today 10 o'clock, water is coming, right? It was Kaveri water is what they were getting. That was less, so they were asking us to supply. We didn't even supply the water at 10 o'clock. But in the groups, people have started saying, I got itching, my kid is coughing. We didn't even supply water, right? So we started getting hate messages saying that you cannot supply this, people are falling ill, there are worms in the water. Then I called up the office, have we sent really? No sir, no tanker, no, we have not sold water at all. So the perception, so and then the group association guy said, "So it is the same Kaveri water which was there in the tank yesterday is being supplied, we haven't even bought their water." So the perception becomes really important, where the fear, people have bigger fear in terms of adopting this, right? So even before supplying whatever is happening to them, they assume that it's because of recycled water. So we are very, very far away, I feel, in terms of real adoption, right? But what we are now saying is, you don't, we value beliefs, we value people's opinion. You don't buy our water for drinking, right? If you buy our water for your industrial application, at least you have fresh water which is perception wise clear, municipal water, borehole water, perception wise clear. Then at least the industrial water requirement, that itself is a large volume. If we can sell it to them, then that is the first step. We are also trying the same thing. We are not pushing this water through people's throat, asking them to drink. We are saying, all your industrial application, you should be sure that you are not wasting the municipal water which perception is solved, everything is solved, people have to use that for fresh water. At least for high-end industrial application, they should not exploit the borewell water or the municipal water which they are coming. So this is the first thing. Second perception issue is now on the ground. People who are buying tanker waters from outside, we are way past the dirty water curve. Meaning, it is we have no control on what people buy. So Jagdish Nagar got STP treated water supplied for few days. People put 1 kg of bleaching powder onto the tanker and come and give it. You really don't know what you are buying, right? So we have gone past that in terms of logical technical understanding. We have gone beyond quality. People don't know what they are getting. It will have nitrate, it will have heavy metals, it will have E. coli, total coliform. They don't even bother to test it, right? Over time, if there is acceptance in terms of seeing the report, see, 2 bottles of water you take, it will both of them looks clear, right? But both of them can have different contaminants. One can have blue color essence in it. One, it can have different kinds of contaminants which we don't see. We have gone past the seeing point where, oh, I see this. This is good drink. We have, as a whole country, we are beyond that, because we don't know what we are taking it from the ground. We are drilling 1,000 feet below the ground. We don't know what has seeped. We don't know the quality. Nothing we know. So technically, logically, we have gone past the quality curve. So if someone is able to treat it and assure that the quality is all met and certified by some NABL certified lab, then that's the correct way forward. But that's not it doesn't solve the perception. Yeah. This perception issue is not just in our country. Every country has this perception issue, right? Singapore had this. They gave water, they called people to the stadium, made people drink it. It was possible for them because they're importing water from Malaysia, meaning they're importing water, right? So uh, over time, what we see is people start to validate based on the reporting, based on the available technology, based on understanding what they're buying. They should at least go to one step ahead. I'll test my tanker water which they are buying. I'll test my borewell water which I am using. If that one step is taken, right, then people will slowly start moving towards logically understanding what water they are getting, right? Then that factor. But currently, we also don't know how to change yuck factor. It's going to be there. At least industrial water requirement, if you're able to change, then it's good.
Okay, so on the yuck factor, I'm going to have the water that you kindly brought us. And just so that we can say that we have no yuck factor perception, happy to have it, and I'm sure it'll be delicious. It's very nice.
It's same as any bottled water we buy from the market.
This is as good as the expensive water purifier that I use at home, and it's quite lovely. I mean, I think we need to move past that slowly.
Psychological.
Yeah.
So for us also, as organizations, see, when we know the technology, what we have built, we know how many stages it goes through. So for us, drinking after the system itself, when we started the system 2015-16, for us also it was a barrier. Meaning, is the technology really good? Is it working? Then once we travel to other countries, see what people are doing, once we saw few tanker water sources where they're taking water, then all this perception slowly went away. We have been drinking this water 5-7 years now. We are all alive. It's all good.
Yeah.
So it takes time, but people will get there. We've had apartment where they objected to keep our system also near the water supply. Keep it extreme in the other corner. Don't put your system this and all that. 1 year, 6 months later, they are wanting our water to be used for their swimming pool. They are wanting our water to be used for the sum. But we have signed contract outside, so we are not giving it to them. But they are taking it for their swimming pool. Same guys who are very conservative of saying, we don't use this water. Now they say a few minutes ago this water was in the toilet. Now it is there in the swimming pool. My kid is swimming. This changed over time when they get their tanker water or borewell water tested, right? They see E. coli, total coliforms, all that in their water. And our water has no E. coli, no total coliforms. Heavy metals is not there. TDS is 40 ppm. It doesn't scale. So then over 1 year, 6 months, they started adopting. Now people ask for our water, meaning we get better margins as a company when we sell it to industries, because for them it's direct money value add, right? So we always focus on giving industrial water requirement rather than fighting with psychological barriers. Say we give it to someone, some apartment for drinking, right? In that apartment 250 people are there. 200 people are okay, then those 50 people become very aggressive on us, and then we don't want to deal with that. So we are trying to do something for the city. We don't want to get caught into these cycle controversies. We had calls from people saying that you should not say it as potable water, you don't give it for drinking, you don't know the long term benefits. We have done 16 years of work on it. We know all the long term problems which tanker and borewell waters can cause. So we understand what needs to be done for the city long term. So but people who question us don't have that background with them in terms of understanding the water quality, right? So
Also, you also have patents and all, right? I mean, I believe you have couple of patents. Would you tell us a bit about that?
yeah, so we have two patents. One is for a water conditioner, other one is for this STP treated water potable. Uh, so what people normally do is they take STP in Singapore. If you see, what people normally do is they take the STP treated water, biologically treated water, pass it through something called ultrafiltration, pass it then to RO, then to UV, and take it out. Right now, if we do that, the economics doesn't justify, and it might not suit our water quality. We should understand the local water quality. There, the groundwater itself is low in salts. Right here, we might have to handle many other contaminants which are coming into the water, not necessarily sewage. In the groundwater, people have used, right, tanker which they have bought for bathing and general, that itself will have a lot of contaminants, right? So for that reason we designed this system which are 11 stages, which uses advanced versions of all the existing system. We have tweaked it in a way where it commercially makes sense, technologically is advanced. We are able to monitor these data. For example, we are using IoT sensors, where previously we used to have a person at site 3 shifts, right? Because it's running live system, we have to put a person. Now we have sensors to monitor, send data to our office. We send people only when we need it, otherwise system will shut down automatically. So in those areas we have done good amount of innovation, which is helping us in terms of that is what we have patent on. It's a design patent which we have to put what all stages is required to make it technologically advanced and commercially viable.
Right. So I'm going to come more on your journey and a little bit about Boson. But before that, you mentioned about real estate and how, obviously real estate, there can be perpetrators of water issues and they are victims of it also, right? It works both ways. It uses up a lot of water when there's development, real estate development happening, and when there is no water, then they are suffering as a sector. But you mentioned that they're not very open to using water which is treated. How does that
Yeah.
work?
So for real estate, for construction, there is a norm called IS 456. Okay. The water has to meet IS 456 standards, or it has to meet portability water standards. One of these portability water standards come. If it is portable, then technically they can use it. Now, for example, if a builder buys a treated STP water from any of the apartments or any of the government STPs, that goes to their sump, right? They take it to the sump. Okay. Now, this secondary treated water, which is there in the sump, they can't store it for the next day. It will start smelling. It will become septic. It will start smelling, and they can't use it for curing because labor is staying there. Is mosquito breeding, smell everywhere, and construction quality issue. So for that reason, see, they are businessmen. They want the building to stand really well. They want to meet all the norms. It has to be also commercially viable, and they can't do for the sake of recycling. Meaning, for the sake of recycling, they can't compromise on the quality of building, right? So the reason why they don't adopt or take this water is the quality issue, right? You will have to give them the water which is required for construction. If you just give them take my wastewater, they can't, it commercially doesn't justify. Quality also, they will spoil the whole building, so they don't want to take risk on that. Building, imagine some 10th floor building falling down, right? They can't take that risk. So we can't force builders saying that use this water. Now we'll say, because of scarcity, government will say, everyone will say, builders, you are making lots of money, you use this water. All that, people put pressure on the builder to use this water. They can't really use it. They won't really use it until otherwise the quality of water meets the standard, right? This is the first. Second, see, now builder can construct the building, 5 years it's still there, they can give it to the association and go away. Okay. For the association, it should not be a problem later because of construction water quality. It's a problem. So it's a permanent 40-year problem. If they use it for urgency now, it's a permanent 40-year problem. That's the reason they are not currently using. If the quality parameter is good, they're able to store it for next 2 days, 3 days, 5 days, 10 days, then they will buy and use it. They don't have, see, cost is also secondary for builder anyway. They wouldn't really worry about cost until otherwise it's a very large builder. They have team who are asked to pinpoint, reduce the cost, all that. But a good builder, if it comes from the top, they wouldn't mind on small cost increase also. But for them, the quality of water makes a big difference in their construction, right? So we have done a testing, STP treated water, where a builder used it for spraying, curing, right? They cured, there was green layer on the top. On that wall, there was a green layer. Algae formation and mosquito breeding, people did not, the labor did not want to stay there. So until otherwise, again, if the quality parameter is way better than the water which they are getting, they will buy. It should not affect their building under construction. So I am meaning I am with the builder from in that
Are you
perspective.
working with any of the builders? Have you?
See, not currently. Builders are asking, but we don't have enough water to
But your water would meet the
it meets
standard.
IS 456 standards. It meets IS 10,500 standard. It meets all standards. We have, for builders, they will have their own tankers, so we don't have to manage the tankers. So what we are saying is pay 8 paisa per liter and take it from any of our location. We sign a contract, you can take it from them. So we are talking to few builders. If that goes well, builders will start buying our water. It meets all standards. Long term, see, for builders, after the initial construction curing phase, after that there is no much water requirement. The real water requirement starts after people occupy large volume of water in that region comes out. So real estate, yes, but in cities, right, in Bangalore city, if you see laundry, all the lakes got bad because of laundry effluent going and things like that. So if industries which are large volume, now I see large volume going to the cooling towers. A 10 lakh square feet mall will take around 1.5 lakh liters of water per day. To cool a 10 lakh square feet mall, you need 1.5 lakh liters per day. And where do you get such water? Should you use fresh water and evaporate it? Or should you use your own wastewater and make it high quality and use it for your cooling? You become sustainable, you close that loop.
Yeah, absolutely. And that makes sense on all fronts, environmentally, economically, right? So I want to, come to your personal journey. You came back from the UK and you gave up a corporate career there to work in the water sector. So how did that happen?
So, as anyone did, I did my engineering and I left to UK. I wanted to make money. I was working here for Motorola, Integra, many companies I worked here. In the software side, I was writing C++ code in the software side. So I took a working holiday visa. I didn't have a job. I told my parents that I have a job. I didn't have a job. I went to UK and worked in petrol station, slept in parks, and too complicated I had. But I traveled there to UK. So to make a lot of money, right? I thought I'll make a lot of money and then build multiple buildings here and settle off things like that. But when I went outside the country, first 2 years was all travel, meaning roamed around 11 countries I roamed. So first full travel, I like visiting Paris, all
Awesome.
that.
Yeah.
Okay. Now after 2 years, it feels like now you know how to make money, right? Do you really want to do this for life, right? So I have seen people who were in the wanted list of LTT and things like in the UK,
Oh,
right?
wow.
So if you see their journey, if you see their life, right? If you see, if you cross 65, 70, I did not want to feel that I have made a lot of money and then I'm now going to do angel investing, do some charity. I didn't want to do that first. Somehow after you go out of the country, you suddenly feel more value to your country. You suddenly become patriotic. I don't know how. You suddenly become patriotic. I never had any racist incident in UK. It was all good friends. I had a very good life there. You suddenly become patriotic. I was working there. So once I did some part-time job for 3 months, I got a proper IT job. My job was in such a place where I used to overlook Tower Bridge and things like lunch. We used to go to the Thames River, have bucket there. It was a good life, right? After 2 3 years it started, okay, you know how to make money. Anytime you can go to UK, you can go to Australia, you can make money. So do I really want to do this throughout my life? So, and all my friends, 8 of them, we We saw all the Swadesh movie, all movie style. We met in one of the Christmas party. Tomorrow we'll all go resign. We'll go do some. This politician is bad. That politician is bad. We complained all that. We decided to move back. We all said next day we'll go resign. All the others are still there. I resigned the next day, so they're still there. So
Which year was this?
this was in 2008. 2008. So I resigned and came back. Okay. So the primary reason, if you see why I moved back, is first thing was, see, during my lunch break, not in one day I had smell coming out of the Thames River. The river was always looking beautiful. We always take photos. So we always, when we picture Bangalore or India, we always look at sewage streams going. Why do we? So that was one driver. And then in if I had stayed there for one more month, I would have got uh, permanent residentship, all that. But I didn't want plan B. I was adamant, meaning if plan B was there, I knew the problems here will be much higher. So I didn't take any plan B. I resigned the next day. I had some 6 months, 4 months notice, something. I gave and came back. So I wanted to do two things. See, when you move back to the country, you suddenly go to, you see rural kids, you see rural schools. I also did the same thing. I went to Tumkur region, found a school. Let's do some charity work, all that. And I got some equipment. Again, it's easy to work on water, right? In that, the most important, everyone goes for water, everyone does some garden planting, everyone goes for toilet sanitation issue, things like that. I also got some money ahead, so I thought I'll do some work on that. 5 years I spent on rural school, all that, right? So I realized that every year we go do some good thing for them. Next year, someone else has given CSR to the same school. That old equipment is gone. Someone else has given CSR. So it doesn't really do a long term impact for them. Also, they also don't learn. As our money spent also is not worth it. So I decided we have to do something long term, which stands in terms of infrastructure, all that. So my reason for moving is all these
Are you still
reasons.
friends with those friends
Yeah,
of
yeah.
yours?
We keep calling.
But
We
you're the
keep
only
talking.
one who
So each one
quit.
is in different, meaning they've got onto the mission mode, meaning not fully mission mode, but each one is doing what they like doing now. I think there a few have come back also.
Okay.
Over time, they have come back and.
So, how did Boson White Water happen? How did this whole journey start?
So, 4 5 years I was into this charity mode since 2014. Till 2014, I was just doing product, new innovation, how to remove fluoride, how to remove arsenic, all that we worked. 2014 on, we started getting calls to our office saying that we have wastewater in our building, but we're not using it. We're not even using it for garden. It's STP treated water, not even we are draining it, but we are paying a lot of money to buy the tank of water. These sort of calls coming to our, can you solve us? Can you solve? Can we solve? So then we looked at what is the STP industry, right? Sewage treatment plant industry. There are 200 plus companies in Karnataka which does sewage treatment plants, small to big. Lots of companies are there. Why are these companies only selling technology, product, all that? If we did a survey of 200 apartments, the value of that water is not there. People say I put sewage treatment plant not for the reason to save water. I put a sewage treatment plant because government will fine me,
If I don't
right?
do it.
If I don't do it. So everyone's perspective was stuck at escaping from the government, escaping from the fines, right? Now we didn't want to get into the space because see how much ever technology you put, graphene tray, you put carbon nanotubes, you put anything, how much ever technology value add you give it to STP, finally that water is not useful. You put whatever technology, if the water is not useful, then no point in putting that technology, right? So we started looking at what can we do after STP to make this STP viable in terms of selling this water. So I lost my mother in 2015 to cancer. So during one of the discussion, this boson was proton, neutron. Boson is, they call it God particle. So we really like the name. For us, water is the God particle. So we named it as boson. I told the name to my mom. She said, name is good. Either you do something impactful, which you said you will do when you came back, instead of going to schools, trading something, finally doing some trading mindset, buying there, selling it here. If you do that, then you better go back to UK. If you really want to do, then do. So somehow those words stuck to me. My brother and dad were so supportive, meaning family, wife, brother, dad, all of them so supportive, meaning I never, if people say my family did not support and things like that, I had so much support. Now I'm feeling gifted. So do whatever you want, sort of support. Then So that still rings in me. So if we have to create something large scale which stands for our country, which stands for the world, then this wastewater infrastructure is what we thought to make it useful. So that is where we started. We named it as BOSON White Water. The name was there from that time.
And
So
your co-founder you met at the time of starting, or
yeah,
did he
so
join later?
he joined later. So 2015 when we started to do that, right? So see, Gautam is my co-founder. So he's worked with Cisco, 17 years in IT, same background as me. When I really wanted to do something on infrastructure, when we met, then he decided, okay, you are really doing. We were college mates. Abdul Kalam had come to our college. We were on the last bench. We were saying one day we'll do something impactful for the country. That 21-20, we were discussing that. This time, after we started really implementing infrastructure related problem, Gautam said, okay, now I think you are actually doing what you wanted to do. I'll also join. So he has all the IoT, all these expertise with him. So we decided to join. He joined me in 2016 and 2017. He joined. So we both are currently running.
So
So
your company is, I would call it an impact in the impact sector, right? I mean, considering what you're doing, but of course, it's for profit. You will
So that's
work
a
on that.
big debate. Meaning, are we really for profit? Are we really NGO? Are we doing charity? See, we ourselves have come. Some apartment calls us, right? It costs us money to go explain. It costs two resources. It is, but what we see, we spend 300 apartments. We go speak. No money, no money, no revenue for us. We get all these saying that long term will make money, because without money we can't sustain. Long term will make money, but we'll have to do this infrastructure. Without that, we don't have a base, right? So uh, we call ourselves part charity, where registration is all private limited. It's all for profit. We make profit, but people selling STP probably will make more profit than us. It's easier for us to sell STP and make money, sell RO industrial or make money. But this, we will make a large money over a time, but we'll have created larger impact, meaning money will follow. Meaning, if we are able to solve this clearly, right, our investors also will be happy, we'll be happy, city will be happy, everyone in the cycle becomes
So,
happy.
you did touch upon the revenue model, but would you care to explain a little more? How does your business actually make money?
Yeah, so what we do, say there is an apartment complex, we go put the equipment, raise funds for it, go put the equipment in the apartment. When we sell that water to the end client, we charge for every tanker, right? Say we charge 2000 rupees a tanker. So that is the revenue for us. That over 3.5 4 years pays off for the investment, pays off for our maintenance also. Over 4 years it pays off for itself. So the ROI is around 4 year 3 months, the investment comes back. We sign an agreement for 5 years or 7 years, so that we make profits after that. Now this is way, so we'll be able to recover the investment. There is no risk in terms of investment
And
risk.
who are the investors for this?
So in 2022 we raised Indian Angel Network funding, so they have helped us in terms of equity funding. And then few projects we did with a company called Pyse. They funded us for the equipment. Now when we sell the water, we make money. That money we again reinvest on these equipments. So we uh, it is that way. So we are profitable currently. We are growing. Last year to this year, we've grown significantly, 3 times growth. So now next year, we're looking at even larger growth. We have commitments from large investors who probably would come in. If they come in, we'll be able to grow pan India and things like that.
Lovely. So that was my next question to you. A lot of great solutions, unfortunately, don't attract as much investor attention as they should. I mean, we will have investors who are investing in 10-minute deliveries, but to get their attention to something so crucial, because what you're solving is a crucial problem. It's a critical problem. So, how difficult is it to raise funds in a sector for a business like yours?
So for us specifically, we didn't have any issue in raising the first fund, because Naga Prakasham was the lead investor for us. He is like us, meaning he is really concerned about the environment, concerned about the issues. So we have been lucky. But as you said, the industry attracts less investment for the reason that it is both sides. Yeah. So the investors find founders. Uh, if it is short term, right? So they are used to seeing aggressive founders. right? Investors think, okay, 2 years this fellow will give me heavy growth and I'll make all the money. So from there, but 2 years is in this industry there are too many barriers to cross. So investors have to see founders who are stable and looking at dedicating their life towards this mission. So that's the way investors have come now. From the investors perspective, they would have taken a large fund from, they would have taken multiple people's money, they would have made a fund, they would have taken a large fund. That fund has to give a certain return in a certain number of years, right? Now with this industry there is a question mark whether it will give it at that fast rate which they are anticipating. If it is a 10-year fund and if the founder is committed, they will get more returns than the conventional business. It's more guaranteed return. But how do they find such investors? So they get into the same mode as the current IT or AI sort of fundraise. Okay, founder says I'll give you 10x in 3 years, and okay, they bet on 10 of them, one of them will succeed, and things like that. So the predominant thing what they say is the total addressable market they see. So when they invest, right, they see what is the total addressable market. They put these number, few million dollars, few billion dollars possibility, all that. In the social sector, see, for our sector, if you say TAM, every person drinking water is our TAM, meaning everyone we can sell technically. uh, but how many will actually address the problem in the social sector? How many will actually get onto the field to address this problem over a long time? That is one thing which investors can't see. From the founder sides also, if the founder's interest is to make quick 2-3 years exit, meaning I'll increase my valuation and sell it, then the founder will end up losing money because people will burn out very faster. Next 2-3 years, I think a lot of people are willing to take bet on good founders. There are a lot of people willing to support, and slowly it is changing from, if they raise a large fund, they are allocating certain portion of the fund for water, certain fund for climate. Climate as such attracts a lot of investment, EV, all that segment. So I am in a part of a group where there are so many investors. They always talk about EV because they see that there are lots of investment interest, everything is happening, people are able to give return, so people talk. But the underlying problem, water, it's still not there, but it will come is what I see. So
So you need visionary investors with the appetite of staying in long as well.
yeah, visionary investors, appetite of staying long, they have to able to understand the reality, meaning if some founder comes and says next year I'll be 10x, they should have the knowledge or the thesis to understand this can't happen, right? What if the government policy changes? What, there is no policy first of all in half of it. So that mindset, it's slowly changing. We have been fortunate to only meet good people in the industry, meaning but the industry is slowly changing. I think next 5-7 years there are lots of investment coming to water specifically. I think it will come.
So, you mentioned about the patents, right? Um, is there room for other companies like yourself? Because there would be a need to do it, or will you be the only company doing this in India?
See, ideally, we want 50 other companies to come. So, if investors say you want competition for yourself, no, for the city to just the urban cities, they need 50 more companies to solve this problem. One company can't solve this problem. First, meaning it's too large problem to solve. So, we need more companies to come in. Will companies come in? We don't know. Will people be able to go through this grind for many years, go through sit in offices, wait time, all these? Will people have patience to take this forward? That those who have patience to take this forward will stick in this game. Otherwise they'll burn out
But
2-3
you
years.
have the patent on certain processes, so would they have to take it from you, use it with
We are
you?
okay to give franchisee all the technology. See, what I see on the ground is technology is not the challenge, right? Whatever we do, someone else next 1 year 2 year, they said they can do better than us or same as us, they can do. So the technology is not the challenge. Even from the investors perspective, they say deep tech. So technology is, it's all there. There are, meaning there are large companies who spend billions of dollars, they are working on research core technology area. Technology is technically not a problem. The problem is the taking it till the end. You find a product, you have some innovative product, you put it in that, then what next?
And you're ready to, share the technology or the knowledge the franchise, as you said. Is that a model that you would?
We have not started that model yet, but eventually if we have to grow faster, if someone is serious, see, now whoever comes and asks, we have lots of people coming, I will expand your market in Nagpur, I'll expand in Vishakhapatnam. We say yes, come to our office, 5 days you work in our office, we will know in that 5 days how. 2 days we send them to understand our system and manage tankers. For 2 days they give up. 2 days they give up. A tanker has not come at 7, client is calling me, what do I do? Meaning, if this is 2 days work you're not able to manage, then how are you going to run a franchisee there? So that is the difficult part. So now we ask whoever Delhi, we have one contact there saying we'll be able to do it. We're saying we will support all in terms of technology, in terms of whatever you want. You should first understand what we are doing, be on field here, understand what we have created, and then expand it there. Then we are open to share technology. But we should see people who are going to take it for the next 10-15 years. They should not give up in next 6 months. Okay, I've tried everything, this doesn't work, or this is too complex to handle. Then for us also it's difficult, right? We want someone who can say next 10 years I'm going to put this and create the infrastructure for Delhi, create this infrastructure for Calcutta, create this. So that side of drive, when there's no money for first 2 years, will they be okay for that?
How much investment would they need, say, if a person was interested?
So it is not the investment again. Investors are all available to put. So what they need is a small team to go to field, find the problem, speak to RWS, close it, be ready to take the risk of payments from them. Will they
Right.
pay it on time? Will they validate? How much risk are they able to take? Will they able to manage the tanker network? Will they able to manage any policy issue comes out? How do they go speak to the government? All
So
these
that would be
complex
the risk and cost involved.
cost, time,
Logistics, the risk involved with the payments from RWAs, and obviously your own team and
team.
those issues. All right. Would you ever consider retailing your water? I really like the
So
taste, so I must ask you.
so we have that in plan. When we started this only, we had that in plan. uh, we want to have a retail bottled recovered water. We don't know when. See, now the target market for us is to create impact. This becomes purely commercial, meaning,
Right.
so when do we switch and make this purely commercial in terms of selling water bottles? So if we do that now, it will be to show off, meaning people, we wouldn't make any commercial sense by we'll be competing with all the current
Bisleris
Bisleri,
and
all that. We don't want
Kinleys.
to come. We are not in that space. So if there is a partner who are going to use a brand and sell the water, we are still open. We don't want to put it ourselves. But eventually, if no one does in the next 1.5-2 years, we will start a bottling unit. We have all the technical know-how. We have water, we have
Absolutely.
input, we have buyer. So we'll eventually bottle it. 1.5-2 years is what we see. But yeah, and it has to make commercial
As
sense.
a brand consultant, I'll tell you that you'll need a very good brand ambassador for it because, at least in our country, especially, I mean, perceptions, yuck factor, all of that changes if you have a big star or a
Exactly. We
sports
need Virat
person or
Kohli to
Virat
come.
Kohli or Amitabh Bachchan for that matter, and they shouldn't charge. They shouldn't charge you. I mean, because it's such a good cause, or maybe do it subsidized because they're all very expensive. That's for sure. Tell us, how much water has Boson White Water helped save so far, and what is your target like in the next 5 years?
Yeah, so far in the past 3.5-4 years, we've saved 945 million liters of water, which otherwise would have gone to the drain, gone to our lakes. So 945, we've crossed 945. It's between 945 and 946. That's the volume we have saved on a daily basis. 830,000 liters get saved now daily. 830,000 liters. Now we want to get from 830,000 liters per day to 25 lakh per day this year. 25 lakh liters of water, 2.5 mld of water per day.
Wow.
That is what we want.
And 5 years?
500 crore liter per year.
Ooh, that's amazing. That's amazing. And it just sounds so good because the moment that's the amount of water that gets wasted and that is now being productively used. That's amazing.
In Bangalore, every day 200 crore liter of water gets wasted after spending money, after treatment. 200 crore liter, if you calculate whole month, it is 13 Varthur lakes in a month.
My God.
Imagine 13 lakes getting created every month. Imagine truck standing in from Bangalore Majestic till Hyderabad every day. Imagine a truck, 6,000 liters truck, standing in from Majestic Station to Hyderabad bus station.
Wow.
That is the quantity of water every day gets wasted, and we don't account it for. We talk about RO wastewater, we talk about, and on the ground below, we're wasting
And
such a.
we definitely need more inspection of this water as well, right? I mean, clearly it's getting wasted illegally, as you said, a lot of it, and there is no inspection. So that is a
Correct. And
place.
people, most of them don't even know that they are illegal. Meaning,
Correct.
I'll send you to
Awareness
the
issue
drain.
as well. So talking about awareness, one post from Nithin Kamath and it just spread like wildfire. You got some 300 inquiries in a day. So tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, so we have been fortunate with these Nithin Kamath, all celebrities posting about us. Meaning, it feels good when they post. Meaning, we felt really happy. What we saw is the next day after the post, are one of the videos which was done by Shrishti, so got viral. Meaning, when Nitin posted, it was there in that video. It got viral with our phone numbers in it, mine and Gautam's phone number. So we suddenly in the say 8:39, we started getting calls. We've never had so many calls. I could not keep the phone the whole day, and we didn't have a system to handle so many calls. Meaning, we didn't have. So immediately we called the sales team. All the phones were forwarded to the sales team. 4 people continuously making a list. It gave us a huge recognition. Huge number of inquiries came in. We have been fortunate to get that.
That's why when I called you, your call went forwarded
Oh,
to your sales team the other
sorry.
day. No, it's a good problem to have. What kind of inquiries did they come and what did people ask? What did they want to know?
See, people were really excited about the work which we did. And I think 25-30% of the call were to encourage us, support us. Any support in whichever region you come to Sikkim, I am here. You come and so throughout India, there are lots of calls saying that we are supporting, we are supporting. Um, the others were generally inquiries, people who did not have STPs. How do I put STP? Whom do I connect? I am in a remote region. We want to do it for the house. So there are lots. See, for us, suddenly, it is not really what we did it for few apartments, right? Suddenly, someone calling from long distances. We had calls from Ghana, Australia, US, Spain, all these places. We got so many. So you're changing the country's infrastructure, all that. So we felt really happy with the number of calls. Coming to the actual conversion, so yesterday we made a list. We have 111 or 112 inquiries which got converted from just those 4 days call. 4 5 days we were like 300, then it came to 200. Now we're getting 8 9. Even now, from that post, even now we are getting 8 9 posts. So uh, but inquiry wise, throughout India we have inquiries. Large guys, Reliance team, Adani's team, all these large guys calling us saying you're doing innovative work. We'll do some pilot together. Things like we have been enormous response. We just should thank Nitin Kamath to post that. He changed the game for us, changed the game for the city as well, country, as people started looking at wastewater. So
Wow. I think that's amazing because, on many levels, firstly, it builds such great awareness if somebody like Nitin is tweeting or posting about it. And then people obviously have an interest, which is great to hear that for all the people who may have, questioned the RWAs or all looking for more profits and all, there are a whole lot of people in India and outside who are truly inspired by the solution that you're building. So, planning to take it overseas also?
So we'll have to first solve say cities here, and then
Yes.
we so much to solve. Eventually, if we have global opportunity, we have to look at it. But there is other side to it also. Meaning this 300 calls, we have had some hate messages. We have had some consultants saying that the founders are too egoistic. They don't receive a call. They don't know the reality. We have never had so many calls. Few of them blasting, saying that founders, you're a growing company. You should not be so egoistic. You should take our calls. I am in this company for 30 years and you can't have this ego with you. We were saying, okay, if this is taken, how do we handle? We did call all of them and tell that we are going to call back. Our team for sure will call back. A few people got really angry also with this, meaning So we tried our max to call back, meaning our team. See, sometimes when our team calls, they don't take the phone and things like that. They want they cut the call. I want to speak to your director only. You can't call me like that. I'm one of the senior guys and all that. So we had
God.
such sort of hate messages. We had other hate messages saying that you're creating a big health problem in the future. All this. So we have not sold water for drinking, but people. But I think it is part and parcel of this. But
Absolutely, yeah.
that side is also there.
Yeah, of course.
But majority 98% is all good only. Meaning,
It's well, there's never a dull day when you're doing something like what you do in India. I mean, for all the adulation and the encouragement, there will be people who will obviously, have certain problems with it. But yeah, sounds like a lot of activity that kept you quite busy for the last few days. Um, so our last segment is a quick response. I'll ask you something and then, you give me some very speedy responses. What are the most surprising facts about waste management treatment in India, you would say, or waste management in general?
surprising fact, I would say, why has there not been a policy for this for so many years? Why are we doing it now? After so many years, why are we doing it now? This is one surprising. I imagine this should have been there, as you asked earlier. So this should have been there earlier. That is one surprising. Second surprising thing is how people perceive water as such. They always think the water which they get in the tap is highest quality and things like that. So, but it is not that. We go to Singapore, drink that water from the tap, we don't question, but our own water. So one more surprising fact is, apartments say you bring treated water from that building via tanker to me. I'm okay to drink that. You do the same treatment in house, then you don't do it. So, because people don't accept. So these three, I think, would be the
Okay.
surprising things.
So, one thing I wanted to quickly ask you, how is it like when we go to, say, UK or we go to Italy, any of the first world nations, their tap water is potable, right? It's drinkable. So they're treating it somewhere and then it's coming,
Yeah,
or is just.
so they have advanced treatment plant which produces water which meets, say, our standards. If you take IS 10500 standards, each one have their own international standards. They bring it to that quality. One perception is, even if you go to Singapore, even if you go to US, we are not used to take the mug in the restroom. We don't take the water there and drink. We somehow can't drink. We take the water outside in the kitchen. We are okay to drink, but we feel so difficult to take it from the tap and drink it, right? So that is gone inside us from the younger days. We have never had high quality water in our taps. So we've always had purifiers, bottled water. We've always had some sort of filter. We used to have the stainless steel filter with candles. We used to have water from there, right? It was always an external source. It was never tap. So from the childhood days, we never had good quality water in the tap.
Is
Right.
it possible that India will ever have that? What we
Uh,
have in the first
I
world?
think it will, when the decentralized network is set, the next 15-20 years, I think we should start having that cycle. The next generation, people born in 2020s and all, will have that mindset. They'll take it from the tap and drink. Hopefully we'll get there in infrastructure as well.
Absolutely. What are the biggest misconceptions about wastewater treatment?
So biggest misconception, I think, is the borewell water is good. That misconception, saying that any water at the ground is good, makes this water comparable, right? Other misconception is there is antibiotic resistant bacteria, heavy metals, all that in the water. It is all there in the borewell water also. It is all there in the municipal water also. Every water has, until otherwise we test it, we don't know what it has. Misconception is seeing is believing. With water we have gone past. We can't see and believe that water is good.
Right. So, if you had to give 5 policy recommendations to the government, state, central, local as well, what would they be?
Yeah. So for the central policy, first is enforcing sewage treatment plant. Okay. We have gone to Pune, gone to Delhi, gone to Chennai, Hyderabad. The decentralized apartment level enforcement is not there. So meaning not very efficient. So policy enforcement for STPs, sewage treatment plant, is not as strong as ETP, effluent treatment plant in industry. Industry enforcement is better than municipal. This is the first thing on the central level. Enforcement of STP policy first. Second, enabling the sale of STP treated water across the city. This can be central and the state. Enable the sale of water to make the private industry come in, find value for the wastewater. It's still not there, right? Second one. Third thing, enabling the lakes of the city and the reservoir not having contaminated water go into the lake. If you see Bangalore, 198 lakes are there. Most of the lake get STP treated water as well as raw sewage. Now that cities, all the cities has to have a strong enforcement in not getting the wastewater to the lakes. Lakes make the cities sustainable, meaning the groundwater which we get is predominantly from the lakes being filled. Okay. Fourth, if we don't give importance to sanitation, we will eventually have climate issues, because sanitation, people don't worry. All the wasted water seeps into the borewell. We keep on pumping. There is health issues, all that. Eventually, there is climate issues. Eventually, all the water leads. One of my friend Ganesh used to say, if climate is shark, right, the teeth of the shark is water, right? If you don't solve water, climate doesn't get solved.
Right. Very interesting. And now we see more and more of that happening at various levels, right? I mean, all climate extremities that are happening, many of them are water related. Scarcity
Exactly.
or too much of it, both
Both sides.
both sides. Um, so, what can common people, citizens like me and anyone else who's watching or listening to us, what should they do at their end to conserve water? Not everybody would have access to, building a company like yours, but what should they do at their end?
See, first basic thing is rainwater. So if someone has rain coming into their rooftop, they can harvest it. That's the common man. It is accessible to them. They can do it in their building. Save as, and that's the best quality water they can ever have. Right? Rainwater is the first. Second, we should see beyond what we should really see what where the water is going on, beyond what we physically see day in day out. If a person is taking one glass of water from RO, he sees the wastewater going out. That is seeing. Beyond that, where the water is going, that one thought, if it comes to the mind, where is my water going? That one thought, if it comes, people will actually involve in the solving the community's problem. So that is second thing. The thing, see, every consumption of ours is water dependent. Be it making a jeans pant takes 2,500 liters, making every cloth, making a paper, everything is water. They call it embodied water. Any consumption is related to water. So I'd say, as a common man, if we really use things which are useful for us, I'm not saying you should compromise on your luxury, you should compromise. I'm not saying that. We are all normal people. We want luxuries in life. We want to buy good vehicles. We want all that is there. But things which gets wasted, for sure, if you're conscious and not waste things and use things, then each one has a large quantity of water associated with it, so it will indirectly help us, help the society, help the environment, all that. So these three
Build
things
a circular economy, try to contribute in a way to
in your own
upcycle in
way.
your own way. Correct.
Use minimum, meaning whatever is
Right.
required.
So you're a young entrepreneur and you're in the startup space, of course. What are your tips for other entrepreneurs, young ones who, may have the aspiration to work in your sector, especially?
Yeah, so social entrepreneurship is a long term game. So if you're an entrepreneur who wants to exit in the next 2 3 years, please don't get into social entrepreneurship space. This is the first thing. If you're looking at long term, focus more on the ground rather than with the investors. Meaning, I see people who spend a lot of time in just raising money. I'll raise this, I'll raise from this person. More time goes on money perspective. But I think on the ground, once little work is done, you don't need a lot of money to start something. You don't need a lot of money. So on the ground, if people are there, then they know the reality of what will work, what is not. So I think more time on the ground is the other option. There's huge scope in terms of scope. If someone is saying, I'm just passing out of college, I don't know what to do, the scope is so enormous, and the problems are so big that solutions can be implemented. But it is a long journey, meaning it is not next 15 years, 20 years, you should know that you are going to go that journey.
Patience, commitment, being passionate.
You should really want to do that. Meaning, if you don't know that you really want to do it, you should get into some money making business and then move to social entrepreneurs when you really know what you want to do.
Right. Thank you so much, Vikas. I really enjoyed this conversation.
Same
Thank you for
here.
your time.
Same here. Thank you very much for having me here. It was pleasure talking to you, and it makes me feel happy with the questions which you ask. Thank you very much for
Thank you
having
so
me here.
much. My
Thank you.
pleasure to have you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for joining us on What India Needs podcast. Do like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Do you have a topic which needs to be discussed or a guest that you'd like to see? Do leave in comments below. Goodbye and thank you.